Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and if you are new here, kindly subscribe, share, and like my videos, and also put the notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials. So, in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make a boo dress with an illusion. This is a Kampala fabric, and the amount of the fabric I used is 3 yards. And this is a lace fabric for the illusion, which is half yards. So, let's get started. So this is the fabric. I folded it into two because I want to cut just the front piece first. All right. So the first thing I'll do is to rule the starting line. So the starting line is also known as the shoulder line. The next step is to mark the neck width, which is 4.5 inches, while the neck depth is 1 inch. So I decided to use 1 inch as the neck depth first so that I'll be using this as a guide in getting the neckline for the back piece as well. So after cutting out my back piece, I would later increase the neck depth for the front piece. Alright, so the next step is to mark the shoulder measurement. So the shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. And every other measurement that comes after this point I mark to be for the sleeve length. So she wants her sleeve length to be 11 inches. And because of the 2 inches band on the sleeve opening, I subtracted 2 inches from 11 inches, which made it 9 inches. Plus half-inch sewing allowance, and that will be 9.5 inches altogether. Now on this point I marked 9.5 inches. I placed my tape downwards to mark 1 inch and connected this point to the neck width as shown in order to get the shoulder slope. The next step is on how to mark the sleeve opening. To get the sleeve opening, I placed my tape from the shoulder vertically downwards to mark a nipple point. So the nipple point is a guide in getting the sleeve opening. Now I extended the point. So this is the sleeve opening. The next step is to mark the length of the dress. So the length of the dress is 56 inches. So I added extra 2 inches sewing allowance to the hem, which made it 58 inches altogether. On the hem line, I placed the hip circumference divided by 4. Now, it depends on how wide you want the boo to be, but she doesn't really want a boo to be wide, so I'll just mark 3.5 inches by the side. Now, I'll extend this point vertically upward to the bust point line. I connected these two lines together to form a curve which is below the armhole. Before cutting out the front piece, I added half-inch sewing allowance to the top of the shoulder slope to which both the front piece and the back piece would be attached to. The next step is to place the front piece on the fabric to cut out the back piece. To get the back piece, I folded the fabric into two and went ahead to place the front piece directly on the folded fabric. The next step is to trim out exactly the same shape. The next step is to take out the back piece so I could work with just the front piece. I went ahead to increase the neck depth. I placed my tip from the neck width vertically downwards to mark 5 inches and connected the neck width to the neck depth to form a curved neckline. So the next step is on how to mark the illusion on the top part of the front piece. I want the length of the illusion to be 8 inches from the shoulder line. I would place my tape on my shoulder line to mark 8 inches plus half inch to that, which will be 8.5 inches. So the reason I added that half inch allowance to it is because after attaching the top of the shoulder slope, the actual length of the illusion will be 8 inches. Looking at the shape of the illusion, you would see that the center of the illusion is actually straight and not curvy. So to achieve this straight line, I placed my tape on this line to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I connected the end of this point to this other point in which the two lines met, using my French curve to connect both points together. The next step is to add a half inch allowance to the top of this new line. So that half inch allowance is what I would be using in attaching the top of this kampala to the lace itself. So this top part will be placed on the lace fabric. So this is the lace fabric. I folded it into two and placed the illusion directly on the fold. The next step is to add an allowance to the length of the illusion. Here I won't be adding half inch like I did for the kampala, because if I should add half inch here, it simply means that the front piece of the bubu will be shorter than the back piece of the bubu. So the best I can do here is to add just 1 inch to the length of the illusion. Alright, so this is all for that. The next step is to trim out the illusion. So the illusion is ready. I went ahead to mark the center of the illusion. The next step is to place the kampala directly on the illusion. So to do this, I'll place the right side of the kampala on the right side of the illusion as shown to pin the center of the midpoint together. Right, after pinning, I took this to the sewing machine to make a straight stitch following the direction of my finger by half inch. After attaching the illusion, this is how it should be. The next step is to flip the seam or the sewing allowance below the kampala, after which I'll take this to the sewing machine to make a straight stitch in top stitching directly on the kampala itself. Please do not skip this top stitching part because it's very important as it helps in securing the seam allowance so the joining won't be exposed. The next step is to place the back piece directly on the front piece to secure the shoulders by ½ inch. Alright, after securing the shoulder, I just remembered I had these trimmings I wasn't using again, so I decided to use it to complement the beauty of this dress. So you can decide to leave yours this way or you had a trimming to beautify, it depends on what you want. So now I placed the trimmings in such a way that it covered the joining of the illusion. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine to make two straight stitches directly on the edges of the trimmings. After which I would also use a bias tape to secure the neckline. Alright, after securing both the trimmings and the neckline, the next step is to cut out the band that would be attached to the sleeve opening. So this band is folded into two and the length of this band is 2.5 inches. So by the time it's attached to the sleeve opening by ½ inch, it becomes 2 inches. I would also attach the second band to the other sleeve opening by ½ inch. The next step is to place the back piece directly on the front piece equally. Please, I want you to take note of this because I know I'd get questions like, how come she was able to insert her hand by the side if there was no pockets in this dress? Well, initially she said she didn't want a pocket, but after she came to pick up her dress, she decided that she wanted me to attach a pocket to it. Now, from the bottom of the dress, I would mark the slit opening. The essence of making a slit on the sides of this dress at the bottom is to create the space in which you'll be able to walk freely. Alright, so from the bottom of the hem, I want the slit length to be 15 inches, and on the other side, I'll also make sure that the slit length is also 15 inches. Now, from the sleeve opening on the side, I'll be taking this to my sewing machine to make a straight stitch by 1 inch. And when I got to this point, I stopped stitching, and this opening is for the slit opening. Now, on the other side of the dress, I would also stitch this side by 1 inch. And when I got to this point, I ended the stitching. The next step is to secure the edges of the slits. So I would secure the side by ½ inch in and further fold it in by ½ inch. I would make a straight stitch from the bottom following the direction of the choke. And when I get to this side, I'm going to make like a horizontal line and then continue stitching vertically downwards to the other side of the slit. And I repeated the same sewing process on the other side. The final step is to secure the side of the hem by folding it in ½ inch and further folding it in by ½ inch, and to also secure the other side of the hem separately by folding it ½ inch and further folding it by ½ inch. So this is the final outcome of this dress. It's so beautiful. You should give it a try. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Nancy. You're welcome here. Kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials so you don't get to miss my tutorials.